Hey guys, it's Sawa here, and today I'll be giving you a guide on how to identify your spawn location and the best places to go from that spawn. I'll be starting with the furthest southwest spawn location near Cherno to the furthest north spawn location near Svetlo, and I'll be leaving timestamps in the description of the video so you can click on them and find your spawn much easier. Let's get right into it. Firstly, we'll be touching on the spawns down by Cherno. Cherno is a very large city with plenty of spaces to loot where you'll most likely find everything you'll need to start off your adventure. There are three main areas you can spawn at near Cherno, one being the furthest southwest spawn next to the lighthouse with the apartments in the background like this. An easy way to identify this spawn is through the apartments on the hill behind, and you'll see the town on your right, this being Cherno. Another easy way to identify if you're at Cherno is through the hotel with the plane smashed into it. There's no other coastal town with this building, so if you see it, you know exactly where you are. The next spawn is inside Cherno in the docks, where there are a lot of crates and cranes like this. Look to the west, this being with the sea on your left, and if you see the destroyed hotel once again and the apartments on the hill behind, you're in Cherno. The final Cherno spawn is to the east of Cherno, just outside the docks below a large hill called Pik Kozlovka. An easy way to identify if you're here is through the hill itself. It's the only one on the coast with the rocky side facing towards Cherno, so it should be easy to spot. The next town we'll be looking at is Elektro. This town may look a bit like Cherno, but does have its differences that I'll show you now. Firstly, we'll look at the spawn to the west of Elektro. From here, Elektro will be to your east, or with the sea on your right. You should be able to see the railroad that runs into the town, and some large open fields above the city. A way I tell I'm near Elektro is through looking to the west and seeing the same mountain near Cherno, only this time we're on the east of the hill. There are quite a few spawns along this side of the coast, so if at any point you see the hill, just turn east and run with the sea on your right. This will lead you straight to Elektro. The next few spawns are to the east of Elektro, starting from just behind the city and into the outskirts. The easiest way to tell from this spawn area is through the church on the hill, or the island behind with the lonely lighthouse. From here you can just run straight into the town and collect some good early game loot, and then continue north through the city until you make it to Nizhnoye, a great place to grab a quick military gun. The next spawn town is Kamyshovo, a small place with a few buildings worth checking, these being the PD, the brown houses, and the street behind. This street leads you towards a castle on the hill, if you follow the path I'll show you now. Along the path are a few sheds that are worth looting, as if you didn't find a knife of some sort you might find a crowbar that can be used for opening food. You can also eat the food you collected from Kamyshovo along the way up to the castle. When you make it to the castle, you want to check the tower and the staircase made of wood behind the tower. You might get lucky and find some water, a knife, a gun, or even a scope, which is what I found this time I came up here. You can then make your way to Nizhnoye from the castle just like you would from Elektro by following this next path I'll show you now. From here you can see Nizhnoye town in the distance. Be careful looting Nizhnoye however, as there will be lots of people moving through the town from the coast, due to it being one of the first places you can go to with a military camp. There are also quite a few zombies compared to most small towns, so take extra precaution when moving through, as you don't want to get chased, especially with the risk of many players being nearby. We'll now move on to the spawns east of Kamyshovo. An easy way to tell you spawned here is by the large island out to sea, this being Skalisty Island. To make it to Kamyshovo from here, you want to run west around the hill with the sea on your left. Another place you can spawn in this area is at Krotoy Cap. The only things here are a few houses, so you're better off running with the sea on your left and making it to Kamyshovo. The next spawn point will be a place with only a few houses again, however this time called 3 valleys. You want to head north up the road with the sea on your right until you reach the town of Solnichey. Solnichey is once again a small town, but it has a well you can drink from and use to get hydrated for your run up to Berezino. The way I identify if I'm at Solnichey is through the large quarry based on the hill at the south side of town. A nice thing about Solnichey is that right next to the quarry is a civilian barrack which can get you some good gear, giving you a head start above other survivors in the area. The next place you can spawn at is near Nizhnoye. The way I identify if I'm at Nizhnoye is through the dock, as it is mostly empty with only one shed. This town is so close to Berezino, your best bet is just to loot a couple of houses and make your way north along the road, with the sea on your right until you make it to Berezino. There are multiple spawns between Nizhnoye and Berezino that you can identify through the large amount of apple orchards inland. All you want to do is run north with the sea on your right until you reach Berezino. Berezino is a large town with 2 sections, a lower part that consists of a lot of buildings. This means you'll find most if not all the gear you'll be needing for your loot run down here. There are also 2 wells in Berezino, one just outside the bar at the lower part of Berezino, and the second in the upper part of Berezino near the crane. The 2 main ways I identify if I'm near Berezino is through the crane in the upper part of Berezino if I'm on the south side, as it's easier to see from there, or the 2 large smokestacks close to the coast if I'm on the north. Next up is Rify, a large destroyed boat that has a couple spawns close by. Rify is not far from Berezino at all, so if you spawn in a place where Rify is visible, it's worth going checking out. You can find some military clothing and maybe even a gun if you're lucky, as since 1.0 it has turned into a military/civilian spawn location. Be careful however, as people tend to camp the rocks opposite the boat near the lighthouse to try and get some easy kills on some fresh spawns looting. After Rify is a large amount of land on the coast where there's a slight chance of spawning. The way I know if I've spawned here is if there's nothing to my left or my right, other than the large hill you can kind of make out in the background north. Here we'll go to Svetlo. There are a few different spawns near Svetlo, one here on the south part of the dock, and one here on the other side of the dock, this being the north. Seeing as Svetlo is the town furthest north that you can spawn at, it's quite easy to make it inland, as all you have to do is follow the northern road which will take you through some of the largest towns in the game, such as Novo and Severograd. There's one last spawn that I haven't touched on yet that's the furthest north in the game. You can even see the debug zone from it, but don't worry, it's quite easy to get to Svetlo from here. All you have to do is follow the path I'll show you now. And here you've made it to Svetlo. I hope this guide served useful to you guys. I normally make PvP or story based content, but thought I'd give it a go making a guide, so if you did enjoy this guide please let me know in the comments below and consider subscribing to the channel for more fun content. Thank you for watching, I'll catch you all soon.